second episode of Lead Like a Swede, navigating new terrain with solution-focused leadership. I'm Marklund, and today we'll explore a theme that often surprises people about Swedish leadership: work-life balance. Is it really possible to work less and still perform more? Internationally, Sweden is known as the country where people leave the office at 5, take long vacations, and yet build global companies like IKEA, Volvo, Klarna, and Spotify. So how does that add up? The paradox is this: in Sweden, balance is not softness, it is performance. It's about leaders creating the right conditions for recovery, creativity, and focus. One person who truly experienced this is Sunny Lee from South Korea. She worked internationally for Volvo and Coca-Cola Company before moving to Sweden. And she was one of the people who encouraged me to write this book. Her friends back home asked, "Why don't you return to Korea? Maybe making more money." But she had discovered something valuable here: a leadership culture that protects both performance and life. Today she's been living in Sweden for more than 10 years, working for KOTRA, Korea's government agency for international trade and investment. And still she says that Swedish work-life balance changed the way she leads and lives. In my book, I share the story of Nora, a unit manager for janitors. She realized the hard way how small signals affect balance. Her administrator once asked, "Why do you always reply to emails so late at night?" Nora thought she was being efficient, but instead she was showing that it was expected to work after hours. So she made a change. No more late night emails, and she even puts her phone in flight mode when she goes to bed. Her words? What a relief. So work-life balance begins with yourself and the signals you send. I also in the book talk about härarbete or here work, a concept introduced by Theo Herrén. It simply means do your work where you work at your best. For some, that's the office. For others, it might be a cafe, a park bench, or at home. When I was a principal, I realized that cafes, having a fika, were my best workplace for strategic thinking, planning the next term, or preparing important conversations, or something thinking a little beyond. It took some courage to admit that, but it worked for me. Another tool I use when I coach leaders is called bunker time. One manager I coach struggled with constant interruptions. So she started blocking 1 quiet hour a day, her bunker time. She turned off notifications, closed the door, and focused. After a few weeks, she said, "It is the first time in years I've been able to think and focus, think clearly." Balance is not only about hours, it's also about attention. When working with SKF, the Swedish ball bearing company, we explored what the Nordic management group should focus on to reach their goals. We called these the guiding stars. One of their guiding stars was simply balance. And they wrote down their different guiding stars. Could be share to learn or something else here in a calendar, generous feedback. But this one was balance. And that one helped them to focus. And I have to read, what did they mean by balance? Well, for the leaders, it was important to continually strive to find and keep our personal balance. Be sensitive of imbalance in employees and help them to find their personal balance. Strive to develop a joyful working atmosphere. Encourage team members to be physically active. That's what they were focusing on a lot. They weren't just nice words on a wall. They were reminders in everyday leaders' calendar, physically and mentally. So in my more than 30 years of leadership management development, I've seen many managers who believe that more hours mean more performance. But I would say, and you probably know it, the leaders who succeed long term are those ones who treat recovery as a part of the performance. So, to sum up, work-life balance in Swedish leadership isn't about working less. It's about creating conditions where performance and recovery go hand in hand. What's your experience? Does balance increase or decrease performance in your team? Or the question I wonder, what's one small boundary or reminder you use to protect your own balance during the day or in your spare time? If you're curious about more, subscribe to this channel and check out my book, Lead Like a Swede.